welcome to the second training speech. Our speaker is Dr. Mayeno. Okay. Professor Michiru Mayeno, 钱伟贡教授啊，钱伟贡。Dr. Mayeno is the Dean of Faculty of Science, Niigata University. He is a professor in Graduate School of Science and Technology, and also Department of Biology in Niigata. His research area are molecular biology, molecular mechanism, and embryonic development. In his training speech, Dean Mayeno will first also introduce Faculty of Science or Niigata University, and then go to his research talk. His speech topic is study on the primitive and definitely pentaopiosis. It's very difficult. One kind of flower, anyway. In Xenopus embryo. Okay. Let us welcome Dean Mayeno.
So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Mitsugu Maeno. Mitsugu Maeno from Niigata University. First of all, I would like to express sincere thanks to, first of all, the President Chan and the Dean Yang, and also Dean Lim. So, and many professors organizing this great meeting. I'm very proud of speaking here, and I would like to introduce the first half about the Niigata and the Niigata University, because many of you are not familiar with. So Niigata, where is Niigata? Niigata is a central part of Japan and developed as a port city. And population about 800,000. This city is about 2 hours by train from Tokyo. So very easy to access from the center of Japan. This is the waterfront view of Niigata city, and this river is the longest river in Japan. So that's why the developed as a port city. And as you know, we have 4 seasons, beautiful seasons. In spring, cherry blossom, and in summertime, a beautiful beach, and good colorization of plants in autumn, and a lot of snow in winter. So we have clear 4 seasons, so whenever you come, you can enjoy Niigata. And in the summertime, still very hot, but you can enjoy the beach, and also this sunset is very beautiful, and we have a festival in the beach. And the Niigata area is very famous of the rice field. It's a very huge field, and that's why we have a good rice wine called sake. So we'll discuss later. So about Niigata University, I have a promotion video made by university. So please.
by plane, Niigata is an hour away from Narita International Airport, Japan's main gateway, and 2 hours away from Tokyo by bullet train. Japan's pristine landscapes can still be found in Niigata, where Niigata City is situated. Mountains, sea, and even traditional culture remain unchanged. Moreover, Niigata is known for its production of premium rice and sake, the foundation of Niigata's rich variety of wonderful foods. With a population of 800,000, Niigata is the modern city blessed with both tradition and innovative spirit, allowing people to lead their daily lives with comfort and convenience. Niigata University is a large-scale institution favorably located on such blessed land, based in the periphery of East Asia while looking out towards the world. The university's expansive Igarashi campus is lush with greenery, as is the Asahimachi campus, located in the center of the city, which is home to the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. Altogether, the university is made up of 9 faculties, 7 graduate schools, a Niigata University Medical and Dental Hospital, and 2 research institutes. Niigata University also bears the special distinction of being a research institute that is a repository of knowledge and for pursuing truth for the benefit of the world and contributing to the development of society. As many as 1,200 researchers of wisdom are leading the world with their own academic and ingenious research. Their academic achievements are highly regarded around the world, and they are conducting cutting-edge research day in and day out. These broad contributions to society serve to vitalize not only Niigata, but Japan and the whole of the periphery of East Asia.
I'm currently studying in Natural Investment Design, and now I'm taking a class called Electronic Drawing Design, where we are working on making a land user car, and we have a competition at the end of this semester.
The research focuses on two intertwined areas: the economic evaluation of nuclear disasters and the sustainability of energy policies.
Niigata University promotes collaborative research and has academic exchange programs with a number of overseas partner universities and faculties for researchers and students. Currently, around 500 international students are enrolled at the university, representing over 30 countries. Facilities such as the Central Library provide a wealth of resources for students who are studying or conducting research, adding value to their campus life. The International Office takes a leading role in organizing a wide range of activities and programs that allow international students to focus on their academic pursuits. Those who need assistance with issues regarding campus or daily life are always welcome to consult with full-time staff at the International Office. Cultural exchange events are often held by the International Office for international students and local residents. These events are very popular among international students because they are an opportunity to have a profound cultural experience. Niigata is a modern port city open to the world world with a good public transport system and where Japanese culture is alive and well.
I think it's a very safe place. It's a great environment study. Nature is beautiful, people are kind. I really think it's a nice city.
I would say that Niigata University offers a great variety of subjects and study area, which is really helpful for us as people who haven't decided what kind of career they want to pursue in the future. For me, initially, to be honest, I wanted to be a lawyer.
新潟大学は反東アジアを起点に世界を見据え教育と研究を通じて社会に貢献しています。Join us in building a better future.
Thank you very much. Here's our president. So, greeting from president. So, can I go? Sorry. So, outline of Niigata University. Yeah, it's about 12,000 students and 3,000 staff, including professors and administration officers. And this is one ranking. So the video was made in maybe 4 years ago. So we are developing 10th the faculty, new faculty, 3 years ago. So 9 plus 1. The creative studies is that the students come from both natural science and social science to go together and run a broad area. And graduate school, we belong to the science and technology. So about the Faculty of Science, we have 7 educational program, but we are one department. So that this was united 3 years ago. Previously, we had 6 departments of each field, but now it's department science, only one department. And the student come to the first grade, second grade, then choose the programs. So the third year, they belong to the program. And the fourth year, still the students in the previous system, so belongs to each department. So we have 800 total students in the undergraduate. And another thing, we made a field research program, which is a new program we made, that's 3 years ago. And the number of faculty staff is more than 90 professors and administration and technical staff. So each program I need to explain, but I don't have enough time. So very quickly. The mathematics, this area, and today Professor Kojima, Tanaka, and students, Ma-san and Nakano-san are attending this meeting. And physics, experimental and theoretical physics, and so many staff, professors in the physics program. And today, Professor Setai and Sato-san and Sikawa-san are attending this meeting. In the chemistry, very famous about the discovery of new element 113 called the Nihonyu was done by former dean Professor Kudo and Professor Goto. And today, Professor Ikoma and Kobayashi-san are attending. In the biology program, animal, plant, and molecular biology, 11 staff, including me. And geology, research on all over the world. And today, Professor Satish is attending. And environmental science, the new program of field science, which is very new system in cooperation with the 2 faculties. And the Sado Marine Biological Station as a related research center, which is in the Sado Island. And Professor Omori is attending today. And we have the National Exchanging Program between 24 faculties, including CYCU. And I would like to mention about the symposium next year, which is will be end of August at Niigata University. So we are going to discuss about this in this afternoon. It's possible to hold as a joint meeting. So finally, I would like to ask you to visit Niigata next summer, and Sake will wait for you. I wonder, time to explain my research. My research is studied on the primitive and definitive hematopoiesis, frog embryo. In the background, it's well known in adult animals, including us, blood cells differentiate from the pups. Hematopoietic stem cells in the body from the bone marrow. However, in the embryo, the blood cells differentiate directly from the mesodermal cells and the hemangioblasts, which are bipotent, that differentiate to the blood cells and blood vessel cells. And the hematopoietic stem cells arise from the dorsal aorta in the fetus, which is very common phenomenon in bird blood. From zebrafish to mouse, the mammalian cells, the definitive hematopoiesis occurs in the posterior mesenchyme, shown in red color, near the Wolffian duct, which is the mesonephric duct, kidney. So these two are very close associated. And I have been working on hematopoiesis using frog for many, many years. Why frog is a question. So frog embryo and chicken embryo are very large enough to work on tissue transplantation or culture experiment. So these animals contributed to discovery of organizer in embryo and the identification of origin of migrating cells such as blood cells and neural blood cells. That's why we use the frog as a model system for development. And it's well, in using this frog embryo, the origins of hematopoietic cells are the distinct two populations. One is larval type, and the other is adult type. So the larval type hematopoiesis is called the primitive hematopoiesis, which is occurred in the ventral side of the embryo. And definitive hematopoiesis occurs in the dorsal lateral plate, which is a conserved region, as I told in the previous slide. So first topic, my talk is the mechanism of blood cell differentiation in ventral blood island. So these photographs are the ventral view of frog embryo. The anterior posterior. So that's showing the distribution of myeloid cells, white blood cells, and erythroid cells, red blood cells. So macrophage-like cells differentiate at the anterior part of the ventral part and spread whole embryo. So each spot shows a macrophage. And erythroid cells differentiate relatively posterior part. So how these cells differentiate? Now it's BMP, the molecule, bone morphogenetic protein, functions as a morphogen to determine the ventral to dorsal tissue pattern in embryo, which is very common in vertebrate. And the highest concentration of BMP induce blood and blood vessel formation. So we did the experiment. We showed that BMP is necessary and sufficient for blood cell differentiation. So this is blood. If you overexpress the BMP, excess blood cells differentiate. And if you knock down the BMP signal, you have another dorsal structure, which was shown 20 years ago, a long time ago. So we are the pioneer to show that showing this BMP is important. Then after that, we isolated new factors or new genes downstream of the BMP signaling. For example, RDD, repeated D domain-like, is a novel secretory factor and composed of the domain called the von Willebrand factor. Von Willebrand factor is a blood clotting factor. So we asked the expression of RDD in the embryo. It was temporarily expressed in the lateral and ventral region of the embryo. And if you knock down this gene, the embryo lost the blood circulation because of no blood vessel in the body. So the function of this RDD is making blood vessel. And another example, we isolated BAL, ventrally associated leucine jipper, which is a novel nuclear factor. Also, the expression is only in the ventral region, temporarily. And if you knock down this gene, VAL, the embryo lost the blood cells, the erythroid cells is gone. So that means this gene is necessary for erythrocyte differentiation. So this was recent research we are still working on. And the second topic is the embryonic origin of myeloid cell cluster found in mesenchyme near the dorsal aorta. This region is the conserved region of hematopoiesis, as I told. So we made the antibody against the one molecule specifically expressed in the macrophage and granulocytes. And we examined the expression of these cells in hematopoietic organs and found that this mesenchymal region is a cell aggregate, and we call this focus. A lot of MPO positive cells make a cluster. So we asked where come from in the embryo. So these cells come from the embryo, but where? To ask this question, we make a transplant, and this area was transplanted to the different embryos. And donor and the host, we use a different species to pursue the donor graft-derived cells. And we found these cells here come from, not from the conventional blood precursor cells, but a new area called the TB, posterior mesenchyme. So this I just give the summary of this experiment. So the myeloid cells come from this posterior area is a conclusion. Then in conclusion, that these myeloid cells differentiate repeatedly, 1, 2, 3, 4, at the different date of embryo. And this come from the different regions of embryo. This is so separate origins. So this is a conclusion, multiple origin of myeloid cells. And if you focus on the para-aortic foci in the mesenchyme, there are two compartments of cells. One is differentiated primitive myeloid cells. The other is undifferentiated hematopoietic cells. Probably the stem cells is in this population. So we would like to ask the function of primitive myeloid cells in forming the blood differentiation in future. The summary in the first part is the importance of the BMP signaling for the blood formation, but still we need to ask the details, how the erythroid cells differentiate. In the second part, we found two distinct populations of hematopoietic cells, but we don't know the function of the myeloid cells existing here. So we asked in future, using genetic manipulation methods, we address the function. So we will stop here. The acknowledgement, the professors, the other university, and our university, and the students. Yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Comment or you want to know more about data? Here have undergraduate student here. 大学的有没有在这里？我刚才有看到几个，不好意思举手，那边有几个。你想要认识尼加塔吗？Or any student, even faculty? Okay, so you know enough, huh? So let us thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mama, for sharing very valuable knowledge with very gentle vocal, right? 非常沉稳的音调，让我们觉得生理学结合学好有趣。So next, we move to the third plenary speech. The third plenary speaker is the Dean of College of Science in Zhongyuan, Professor Yang Mingsheng. Let's have a round of applause to welcome.
Thank you a lot. Okay. I think I don't need to introduce CYCU. Okay. Maybe I give you some idea. Okay. Where is the location CYCU? 总理来桃园 but right now in 桃园市, yeah. Okay, I just think about how many students in in College of Science. Okay, maybe we can count it. We have 5 departments, right? Which is chemistry, applied mathematics, psychology, and also nanoscience technology. So total have 5 departments. Okay. Physics. I forgot physics. Oh, okay. Physics is the biggest one in College of Science. Okay, so each department have 2 classes, right? Each class have around 55 students. So each department around 110, right? So we have 5 departments, so it's 550. 4 grade. So it's 2,200 students, undergraduate students. And I also counted the graduate students. All 5 departments have a master's degree, right? And each grade have around average, around maybe count 20, okay? 20. So it's 2 years is 40. So 40 times 5 is 200. And include PhD student, so maybe it's 230 around. So totally the College of Science, all students around 2,040. 400, 2,400 around, yeah. Okay. So it's somehow a big group, right? Okay, yeah. So, I will not go too much detail, but I can tell you we have building. Okay, where the location here is a building. Maybe just show 1 minute. Okay, do like this. Okay, maybe we can start. I just ask you to go ahead to the website, okay? So I'm interested to go to my research. Maybe you don't like it, but you need to have a patience, okay? Right now we go to my research. Okay. Yeah, I will talk about a clustering algorithm. Clustering algorithm is quite important in machine learning. Okay, even you want to have a deep learning, you need to have cluster algorithm there, okay? And I especially talk about robust learning. What is that? Maybe we will start from a clustering. Why clustering? Okay, so how about this? What do you see? 2 groups, right? 2 clusters. Why? In nature, you cannot say why. But when you see the data set, automatically you got 2 clusters. So that what I mean? It means these 2 groups self-organized by the data points. Okay. So usually in machine learning we call it unsupervised learning. It means you don't know which point belongs to which cluster. So it's unsupervised learning. What is supervised learning? Supervised learning means you have already know which point belongs to which class. And then you learn by label set and then get a classifier. That's a supervised learning. So today I will talk about unsupervised learning. That's a cluster algorithm handle it. Okay, how about this? Still to cast, but some points it's which point. You cannot say which it belongs to, right? How about this? It's still two clusters, but maybe it can be a one cluster, right? Okay. How about this? A big group and another small group. For human being, it's easy for us to be a separate two groups, but for machine or algorithm, it's very difficult. Okay? So how about the others? Wow, it's terrible. For us, it's easy. For cluster algorithm, it's terrible. It's very, very difficult. Okay, if you don't believe me, you can learn the algorithm. You can see, okay? Yeah. So, we talk about clustering method. We have two categories. One is called probability model based. This means based on probability distribution or probability model. The famous algorithm is EM algorithm. It's expectation and maximization algorithm. It means you need to use a statistic, maximum likely estimation. Okay. Another one is we call a non-parametric approach. That means we based on objective function or similarity or these similarity measures. Famous is K-means. Most know this one. Another we call a quality means. Okay. So next question is what clustering? You need to give a definition, right? So the clustering, we say that if you have a data set and data points here, the clustering is to find a good partition. What means partition? Everyone know that. If you go to an undergraduate student, you know what is partition, right? So that means Xi and Z is it's an interaction empty set, okay, and a whole union to be the whole set, right? In other words, we can use an indicator function or characteristic function to know it belong to 1, not belong to 0. So the called half C partition because C groups. So another question is, what do you mean good? You need to have criteria or so-called objective function, okay? So give a criteria or objective function to measure it. What do you mean good? So the easy one is sum of square error within class. Why within class? Suppose A1 to AC are cluster center, and between the data point and the i's cluster, the error, right? So totally sum up together. So this is a neutral measure for the criteria, what is good going on. So the famous K-means is use this objective function, right? Sum of square of error of within cluster. So how to get the cluster algorithm? You just minimize this objective function. So that's quite easy. You get this one for cluster center, this one for membership. So I think if you have calculus, you know how to get it. So it looks like a simple means, right? It looks like across the short distance should be 1, should be belong to the cluster. Okay. So our question is, can the K-mean classification rule be improved? Of course, answer is yes. So how to improve? One way is to extend the 0 or 1 to the interval of 0 or 1. That means become to be grade. So it's a high value is a high grade, high belong to, okay, high membership. Of course, sum up to be 1. So we have an extension from Hasse partition to Faraday partition. How about objective function? Okay, so it looks like we have extension this to this, okay? So another question is, how about your objective function? So objective function from the k-means simple one, we extend it to this. So from 0 or 1 to between 0 and 1, and then take the 2 power here, that's necessary. Even we take m power, m bigger than 1. So that's a famous objective function we call a Fuzzy-C-means cluster algorithm. Most engineers use Fuzzy-C-means cluster algorithm. Most statisticians use k-means. Usually doing this, okay? So how about the update equation? So we just take the optimization and minimization. We got cluster center here. It's a weighted mean also, right? This a membership come to be this one. So use two update equation, you can get good cluster algorithm. That's easy. Even deep learning right now is famous. Still don't like this kind of algorithm. So that we call AI algorithm or machine learning algorithm. Do like this. So that's famous Fuzzy-C-means algorithm. It's very simple, right? But it's very useful. It's very useful. You just get the data set. You can get what you want. Okay. So that's quite good. So the most cluster algorithm face this kind of drawback. What? Influenced by initialization. You need to give a cluster number C first. You have a lot of parameter selection and also sensitive to noise and outlier. So our main object is to conquer this, to solve this. So if we talk about Fuzzy-C-means for the drawback, of course it is heavily affected by initialization, parameter acceleration, and we also need a number of cluster C. Before the algorithm, you need to assign C. It's too bad, right? Sometimes we can find an optimal C, but we need to use another function we call a classifiability function. But in our algorithm, we don't want to use that. We want to use the algorithm directly to find an optimal C. So how to solve it? We call a robust learning schema. So we call a RLFCM. So what is that? No cluster center initialization, okay. No membership initialization. No so-called Fuzziness index M power, okay. Unknown cluster number. You don't need to assign it, okay. And the algorithm can get it. No user-defined parameter. Wow, quite a bunch of good things here, right? So it looks like a little bit complicated. So we go back to Fuzzy-C-means objective one. It's very simple like that. So how about our, I will not show you this. This is the L2 long. It's a Euclidean distance. You can change any kind of distance to be another way, okay? But we show this one. How about our the last Fuzzy-C-means objective function? We just add 3 terms that have an entropy idea there, okay? One is this one, another this one, another. This is a good like an entropy, the membership over. This is a missing proportion. Entropy for over the membership function. Entropy for membership function. So we have these 3 terms. Okay, the first term look like this. What it do? This missing proportion. Okay? So that we need to have gamma 1 to learn the effect. Okay. The second one is this one. This is also another to adjust the effect. The third one is this one. This is a very important term. This is to find a best number of clusters. So we only add 3 terms. Okay. Maybe I only have 2 minutes to go because we have outside, we want to take a good picture. Outside in front door, front gate of CYCU. You see the beautiful truss there? And also have country flags. Malaysia, Japan, and of course, Philippines, and of course, Taiwan. Okay. Republic of China. Okay. But you will call Taiwan. What do you like that photo? Okay. So, it's an update question. We have derived the different learning function. Of course, we need to spend a lot of time to learn it, to get this. Okay, and also update question here. And then we got to RLFCM algorithm. Okay? So computer membership, update the learning function, update the missing proportion, update another learning function, and then discuss if the missing proportion less than 1/n, you discuss the class. So in the original C, the class number is equal to the data number. And then after doing good, you will reduce the cluster number. And then eventually you get the ultimate C. Okay. Just again, update symbol means. And then to check it's cross or not. Is it stop or not? Okay, is yes, stop. Is not, go ahead. To long it again, and then update. Okay, so that's our algorithm. Okay, maybe example I was giving. If you like this one, you can see 3 clusters. These are 5 clusters. Eventually we got the 5. And also the availability function. And then. Okay. So this I also compare the other algorithm, RCA-OB. This published attribute transform pattern analysis and machine intelligence. This is attribute transform physics. This is in science. So we compare these 3 algorithms. We do like this. We got all correct cluster number. Okay. Image segmentation. These are famous image segmentation, Nina. Okay. And also papers and so on. So we come to conclusion. Eventually, I still prepare here an algorithm, but don't have time, so I just okay. I just show you this. Okay. So another example. Okay. That's another EM algorithm. We have also concept of fast learning. Okay. So this is a phrase. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, 3 deans of science colleges, Utah, Professor Lindemi from Utah. Thank you. Professor Malno from Niigata University. Thank you. And CYC Professor Yang Mingsheng. Now, it's the end of our section of plenary speech. We are grateful for your attendance this morning. Next session will begin at 1:30 p.m. So we provide instructions for your afternoon assignment on conference manual. You can check your conference manual to find your right location. Right now, we would like to invite all of you to join with us, taking more group photo in our campus and also with everyone's country flag, as mentioned, Professor Yang mentioned. So please, everyone, to with our staff, our student assistants, go to our main entries to take group photo. Thank you very much. 请各位贵宾、师长、同学，我们一起到我们的大门口的 Trust 跟旗杆前面合影留念。下午场在1点半开始，我们请现场的工作人员协助引导我们的贵宾、师长前往我们大门口。
同学，我们到外面照完相。
Our staff will guide you to the location and entrance to take a photo.